Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and today I am making 60 bars of soap at one time. This is my very first large wholesale order, and it is for a former neighbor of mine. Her name is Karen, and her daughter is getting married in December. And they wanted 180 bars of soap, and I just wanted to share with them and also with you guys. I'm just sharing one of the fragrances that they requested, and one of them was blood orange. I've already made that one. I'll put in a small clip of that soap as well. But this batch is pumpkin apple butter, and it's by Nature's Garden Supply Company. I get a lot of my fragrances from them. They're very potent and concentrated. Okay, and in this small bowl here is a colorant. It's called Mocha Brown, and it's from Nurture Soap. It is a mica colorant. This fragrance oil darkens the soap to a chocolate brown, and I'm just using the colorant to even it out. Okay, and in this very large container here is all of my oils, which is palm oil, coconut oil, olive oil, castor oil, sweet almond oil. In this other smaller container is my lye water mixture, which is just lye flakes and water. Both of them, when I get ready to mix, is going to be in probably right around 80 to 85 degrees when I start mixing. So guys, stay tuned as I get ready to make a huge drawer of soap. All right, guys, it's time to blend it up. The oils are at 80 degrees. And the lye water is at 88. I have my gloves on and my goggles on. So let's get cracking. Stick blender first. And before I even put the stick blender over into the oils, I am going to pour the lye water in. I'm going to pour it slowly to cut down on the splashing. You cut down on the splashing means less bubbles that you have to knock out of your soap batter. Then once I get this all mixed in, I am going to split this off and pour off a little bit of it so I can do in the pot swirl for the design in the soap. Stick blender in, tap it down and get the extra bubbles out of the blender. Let me get another container out though so I can do the, and here we go. The more you blend, the thicker it becomes. Let's see. And no, I have not even reached the light trace yet because it's not leaving any lines on top of the soap. So I'm going to turn the blender back on. Almost there. All right, I think that should do it. I don't want to overblend it. If I overblend it, the soap batter will get too thick, and I don't want it to be that thick. Okay. Just going to stick that over in that bucket. Take the thing off of it. Okay, I'm going to bring this back towards the forefront. Move the fragrance oil out the way because if I spill it, I don't have any more. Okay, this is heavy. I'm just going to pour off a lot. I am not even measuring how much I am pouring off, but it's a good amount. It's not going to be colored. Okay, now this container is the Mocha Brown mica mixed in with oils from this original batch. So putting it back in here adds the rest of the oils that's supposed to be in this batch that mixes with the lye water, so it's not an off-balance soap. So I'm just going to pour this right over in the main batch. And I mixed it in with the oils so that it wouldn't have any clumps or unmixed mica powders that can cause little pockets inside of the soap. We wanted all the colorant to be incorporated nice and evenly so you get a smooth coloring. Again, this fragrance oil is going to darken this soap up anyway, but we just want a more even coloring. Set this off to the side. Okay. Stick blender back out. I'm not going to blend this too much. Tap it again, bubbles out. Darkening. And the only reason I'm blending this more is because that fragrance oil is actually going to slow the trace of this down. It's going to turn the batter right back liquidy. So this is actually a fragrance oil that you can use that would work really, really, really good for drop swirls and different designs if you were doing an intricate design. It gives you enough time to work with this fragrance. Now, I'm not going to put any fragrance oil in this batch because I want that batch to not discolor like this. So it'll have a little contrast of color. Again, this is the pumpkin apple butter fragrance oil, a wonderful holiday scent. It smells like cinnamon and apples, a little bit of pumpkin spices in there. It's very nice, especially for the fall and in the wintertime. And this is going to be a December wedding. Okay, I'm putting the entire 8-ounce bottle over into the chocolate mix. This actually looks like chocolate cake batter. Get all of it out. Make sure that blender doesn't fall over in there. Okay. Ooh, that smells delicious. Okay. And when I first put this in here, it turns the batter to where it looks like it's turning green. But you just constitute it back in. Get it well blended in. I'm going to turn the blender on. Again, this fragrance oil slows down trace. Okay. Clean the excess batter off of my blender. Put the blender over in this pot, which is a cup of hot water in order to clean the blender. Okay, won't need that anymore. And the batter is still very, very, very fluid. Yeah, that's really good. Really good. I hope you guys can see that. Looks like chocolate. Look how loose that is. I'm going to let it do its thing for a minute because I don't want to pour this over in here yet while this one is still so loose because I don't want the colors to muddy too much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to drop swirl in a couple of areas in the pot. Yeah, I think I should have put some titanium dioxide in this one, but that's okay. It's still going to be very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. I can tell it's going to have like a yellow butter color with the chocolate. So that will be on 60 bars because this is 60 bars. It can come out of that loaf, that slab mold. And I've already made 30 bars of it, which is on the shelf already curing. Okay, and since I don't need any of this, I'm going to save a little bit to do a little bit of lines on the top. Okay, so let me put the slab mold in position so you guys can see it as I pour it out. And I'm going to take this spatula and I'm just going to move it around the batter just a little bit. Just moving the mix around. The colors are still separated very nicely, as you will see in just a moment. This way you guys can see what the batter looks like as it comes out of this big container. Put my spatula on this side so I can do some scraping. Okay, I'm going to pour from the corner here. And then go. It's going to look like marble. It actually looks like a marble cake. Scrape out. I'm sorry if you guys cannot see from this angle, but I'm right-handed, so I need to have my right hand on this side.
You did it last time, so no.
Chocolate. Yes. Woo, that's a lot of batter. Okay, I'm gonna spread this around just a little bit. Over there. I'm just gonna take this little bit that's left in here and just run some lines so I can swirl the top. And it's still very liquidy in this one because we did not stick blend this one any further. Okay. Now before I do any swirling on this, I need to tap this a little bit. Noise. I'm actually going to tap this on the floor, guys, so hold tight. Okay, guys, I have tapped it down on the floor. Shimmy it just a little bit. Make sure it's in the corners. And all I'm going to do is take this, I guess you can call this a bamboo stick, skewer, and I'm just going to swirl the top a little bit just to give a little bit of a design. Nothing major. I'm just going in little swirls, moving the slope around, just so you get a different design or a little texture to the top of this soap. The chocolate batter is much, much thicker than the butter yellow. So it's moving very nicely. And it's just giving you some swirls. So when I cut the bars in the morning, it's not just muddy and plain on each individual bar. You'll see some little swirls and some little textures on top of the soap. Looks wonderful. Go back the other direction just to make sure everybody has a little bit of the swirls. And when I cut this tomorrow with the loaf splitter, you guys will see that as well in this video. And that is it. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spritz the top of the soap with 91% alcohol. That helps deter soda ash on the soap. Even though if you get soda ash, it's just a matter of moisture getting to the top of the soap due to the humidity. It is like 80 degrees today. But it washes off after the first use. But sometimes the alcohol deters that. And the second thing I'm about to do is I am going to take saran wrap and I am going to run it across the top of this soap over it to shield it. The saran wrap is going to help block some of the moisture that may attach to this soap. So I'm trying my best to keep this as taut as I can as I run it across so that the wrap does not fall down into the soap. Okay, when I get to this side, tape it down over here. This puts like a barrier to keep moisture from getting to the top of the soap. Scissors. That's wonderful. But it looks wonderful. And I will see you guys in about 18 hours or so when it is time to take this soap out of this loaf mold and cut it up into some bars and then put it on the rack. So I'm going to move in so you guys can see it a little bit better. All right, guys, here is the soap after I have put the saran wrap all over the top of it. It definitely looks like a chocolate and vanilla marble cake. Okay, stay tuned for the splitting of the loaf slab and also see the cut into bars. All right, guys, it is the next morning and the soap is ready to be cut. I'm going to turn the loaf a little way so you can see the inside. Can you see that? The condensation that's on top of the shrink wrap. That lets you know that this bad boy got pretty hot during the night. When I tested the temperature once, it was like at 115 degrees underneath this as the soap went through saponification. All right, so I'm going to cut off the saran wrap and get this soap out of the mold. Just tearing a little hole in the top. I'll take the rest of all the tasty stuff off of it later on. I just want to make sure it's not attached to the freezer paper. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn this and see if you guys can see it. It's got a little water on top, but that's okay. I'll pat it in a little bit with a little paper towel. But you can see little spots here and there. But all in all, there is not a lot of soda ash on this soap. So let's get ready to get this out of the mold. And it smells wonderful. It smells almost like Christmas morning, like getting ready to bake cookies, or you made some the night before, and the pies and the cookie aroma is in the house. Now, I may just have to speed past this portion because sometimes it takes a minute to get this out of this drawer. One of these days, I'm going to have someone make me a sliding bottom one, where you just slide the bottom out of the drawer and the soap just pops right out. But all you do is you wiggle the bottom, you wiggle the top. I'm going to turn it to the side and you can see where it's moving right there. You pull a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top. I'm going to turn it on the side because if it falls out of there, that's a hot mess. So I'm going to speed this up and then I'm going to come back once I get this all out of this mold. Okay, guys, it is completely out of the drawer mold, and that is what this looked like. Now, if that's not a marble cake, I don't know what it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this log splitter get the soap into this log splitter to cut this into 6 loaves of soap. I won't do them all on here, just maybe a couple of cuts. And then I'm going to tighten up the strings. This is a bud cutter. I found it on Etsy. I'll put a link down below if anyone is interested in getting one of these. Okay, make sure the wire is taut enough. All right, now this is 20 pounds of soap, so it is heavy. A little bit. This is just a piece of freezer paper I got in the bottom of here to help this slide across this a little bit easier because this is made out of wood and it's not a varnished wood. Okay, and this cutter has cleats on the bottom so that it connects to the table. And all you do is you slowly slide it through. And the wire cuts the soap. And you end up with a loaf. Isn't that pretty? All right, I just noticed that I probably was out of frame when I showed you guys what the soap loaf looks like, but there it is. Isn't that lovely? Very, very, very pretty. Marble cake. Okay, move these over. I'm gonna do one more cut. That's just extra soap that's on the wire. Okay. It's much lighter now. Okay, you lay it down on top of the freezer paper and gently slide it through, making sure the loaf does not lift or anything. Otherwise, you end up with a crooked bar. And now that I've cut a couple of loaves off of it, it's not as heavy. And look at that, gorgeous. All right, guys, I'm going to cut the rest of it, and then I'll be back to show you the 10 bar cut. All right, guys, let's get into the next step. All right, this is my 10 bar or 12 bar of soap cutter. This is also by Bud's Wood Shop on Etsy. Link will also be down below. Now, I have a single bar cutter by him as well, but cutting this amount of soap, I had to upgrade and spend the money to get one of these. So if you are a budding soap maker and you think this is something that you might want to turn into long-time business or long-time practices, I would recommend that you get a multi-bar cutter. It makes for more uniform bars of soap, same weights and everything depending on your recipe, and you don't end up having a lot of bars of soap that you have to give away to friends and family because the cuts went crazy. One of the best investments I have made since I started making soap. So let's get started. Push this back so the arms don't fall down. Okay. Soap loaf. And I'm just putting it up here up against the cleats on here to make sure it's even when I cut it. You can see it clearly. And I'm just matching it up. And as I pull the arms down, I'll be able to see where the wires touch the soap, so I know if I got a clean cut on this side and a clean cut on this side, so there isn't a short bar or a too thick bar on either end. Okay. Bringing it down. And I need to move it over just a little bit. Right there, okay? Now just make sure it's up against the back of it. And press down firmly. And I pre-tighten the strings or wires before I put the video back on. And you end up with end pieces, which can be given out as samples, or I can use myself in my showers. Set that off to the side. Take one out. And look at that marble cake. Look at that. Set that off to the side. I'm going to take another one out. Marble cake. I got some drag marks. Why? I do not know. Must have been something on top of the soap. Little chunky piece of soap somewhere. Let's see. Ooh, look at that one. Now that is definitely marble cake. Okay, guys, I have another 5 loaves of soap to cut. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll show you some in shots of this loaf and also of the blood orange ones before I end the video, guys. So stay tuned. Okay, second cut. Nice and steady. Sample pieces. Yeah, I definitely love drop swirl out of any soap design. Look at that. That might be all I started doing is just drop swirls. I mean, in the pot swirls. Drop swirls are pretty, but I seem to have not perfected that yet. But in the pot swirl, I'm loving that. All right, guys, stay tuned for the look of the blood orange and this one after all of the cuts. All right, guys, all 60 pieces of soap or bars of soap have been cut. And this is the final of them. Let me pull one out for you. This is one of my favorite looks right here. Now, doesn't that look like marble countertop? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, and then I'm going to show you one of the blood orange. Now, the blood orange ones, I did a drop swirl design, so it's not as intricate as that. You can see a little bit of the orange right there, but that is the top of it. You see the red and the orange feather design on it. Both of them smell wonderful. Okay, now, as you saw in the part of the video that I covered the soap with saran wrap to avoid soda ash. But some of the bars do have soda ash on it. So I'm going to pull one out so you can see a little bit of it. Now, can you see that? That right there in the white parts is soda ash. Okay, now to help with that, it's a little trick that they have. And all you do is you take 91% rubbing alcohol and a little distilled water. And all you do is you take the rubbing alcohol, you spritz the top of the soaps, not too much because you don't want it dripping down the soap. I'm just doing all of them. All of them don't have it on there, but some of them do. You just spritz it with a little bit of the rubbing alcohol. And I don't know if you can pick it up yet. I'm not going to pick one back up. But it gives the soap a shiny look on top. And then you wait 5 minutes for that to dry onto the soap. And then you come behind it and spritz it with distilled water, which is what's in this little spritzy bottle. And then you may have to do that once or twice. And it gets rid of the soda ash. And that is it. Okay, guys, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section down below if you would like to see more soaping videos from me. And guys, if you're interested, look for it in the coming months as my soap reappears back in my Etsy shop. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.